I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears. And today I have a very special guest, a former classmate of mine. Well, maybe he was a couple grades behind me in school. I'm just a wee bit older than him. But Mike Jackson. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. I have no specific thing I'm going to talk about. I kind of like to go freestyle anyway. So, I'm going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Mr. Mike Jackson and my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears. I'm Leonard Riggs.
Hello.
Hey, are you there?
I am here.
Hey, that's cool. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears, and I have a special guest this week, a former classmate, well, a couple classes behind me, but we all went to the same school, Mike Jackson. So, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, my friend.
That's awesome. I think we grew up in the 1980s and 70s, the greatest time ever, and we all went to the same school. And we live in this, I don't even know, do you still live in Christopher, or you live in one of the suburbs?
I live in a little town off of Christopher, which is like literally 2 miles away, and it is not Buckner. It's really funny. So I'm very close to Christopher. We're talking about Christopher, so yeah, I'm like let's just say 2 miles north. There you go.
It's not Monkey Town, because everything that's
Christopher,
Buckner, Coelho is Monkey Town. No,
that should tell everybody else where it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Up north,
north of Christopher. You live by the airport of.
Yeah, exactly. And then for the record, I did come here in 1978.
Oh, really?
So I started fourth grade at Christopher Grade School, and then I did graduate. Yes, with the high school.
When you're little, like a couple of years behind is like 3,000 years behind. Till you get older, like we're our ages now, it's like ours is pretty much the same. You got so many people that are our age that are grandparents.
Yes.
Some that started having kids a few years ago. I mean, it's such a weird age to be in your 50s.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 54. I'm not afraid to say it. So it just seems like it's just gone fast. I think.
Isn't it? I mean, I'm 57, and all I'm dreaming about now is retiring. It's like you dream about turning 21, and you dream about this and that, and you dread 30, you dread 40, you dread 50, and now I'm approaching 60 really quick, and it's just an odd feeling, and it all goes so fast.
Right.
And, I don't know. Time, you just blink and you're 3 years ahead later,
Yeah.
Right. But I think, and I was going to say, my last special guest was Craig Edwards, and you actually moved into his house after he moved
to
Plainsboro.
I remember knowing that fact. I don't think I knew it until later on.
Really?
Well, I knew of him, but I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't know him.
Yeah, because you moved, later.
And then I knew some neighbors. I had some neighbors, and then they kind of pointed it out and said, yeah, this guy lived here.
The Scroggins and the Shermers and the...
Yeah. And I heard the high school built that house originally. Yeah.
That was one of their projects they used to have. What was that class? I can't remember.
Was it like a? Well, it had to be
FHA or future home
like
class or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah, they built a few houses around that area.
And it's been, and Mom and Dad are still there. They're still in that.
I didn't know they still live there.
Yep, and it's been redone inside and out a bit.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, Craig and his brother visited over there and took pictures in front of the house. I wished I would have known.
Yeah, he could have went in there.
Went over there. Yeah. I would love to see what that house looks like, because we spent a lot of time. We really goofed. If his mom only knew what we were up to in that house, she would have a fit. But yeah, straight out of Freaks and Geeks, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, I think he left, if I remember correctly, I think he left like I'm not sorry, motorcycle wallpapering of some sort.
It might have been his brother's room because we took his brother's. He started out at one of the back rooms in the back of the house, but when his brother moved out, he took the front bedroom that faces the road.
Yeah, that's okay. That's me. That was
where you were? Yeah, because he was in love with the girl named. This is giving away. He was dead. I'm sorry, Craig. I'm giving your secrets away, but I think we talked about this. He was in love with Francie Maddie, and who wasn't in love with Francie Maddie?
Yeah,
She's the girl.
She knows. We lived on Beulah Street, and she was right off of North State, right beside the funeral home. Well, I was right behind her on that road, and then we had so that's where I grew up originally, and then we moved to the house there, Craig's house, in 1985.
That's crazy. That's the year I graduated high school.
Yeah.
But, see, it's just funny, these weird connections, because Craig was a big part of my Wonder years, and I've always have those memories. But you, of course, are really good friends with my nephew Eric, I think.
Yes,
Eric Redding, and that's kind of another connection. And
and then his mom's your sister, right? His mom was your sister.
Connie. Yeah.
Well, yes, and then I loved Connie. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's greatly missed. She passed away going on 11 years now, and
that just goes too fast.
I know, and it was such a shock because I've got sisters that have health problems, and she seemingly didn't, and she was tough. My sister, she's like, she'd wake up when I'm gonna tear this wall down, and she would get a hammer and tear it down.
Right.
She was just something else. She had a lot of. My niece Natalie's a lot like that. She's the very same way. She came and helped me clean the house the other day. Thank God, because I needed help. But so it is. I recently saw all my family, which I'm not going to get into that. But but I think, like I said, we grew up around the same era, and I have so many fond reminiscing. God, I can't even talk. So many fond memories there. How about that?
I get
that time.
Yeah. I do you remember? I mean, you said you've been here all your life, right?
Yeah,
basically.
I was born. And basically, it's funny because my sisters were born at Miners Hospital, which was down the street from us, and they stopped. They stopped their, what do you call it, the baby unit, whatever. They Franklin Hospital took over, and I was born in Benton, and Miners Hospital remained open until I was 9-10 years old. It's torn down. That's John Malkovich was born there, the actor, actually.
Right.
But I've lived here all my life and worked here, and I'll probably die here.
Right.
It's like the song "Small Town."
Yeah.
Live in a small town, die in a small town.
Well, there's another fun fact. We had a guy from Rayburn. Was it?
Gene Rayburn. Yes.
Gene Rayburn. Yes.
Christopher. I don't know that he lived here too long, or
I think he was born there. I think
he was just born here, and it's in all his biographies, which is kind of cool. And it's funny that Christopher has two famous people connected to this little town in the middle of nowhere in southern Illinois.
Yeah,
I believe we're the only town in country named Christopher. I may be wrong about that, but
that's true. That's true. I think that's the only one.
I think that's kind of cool too.
I think someone told me that there is another Christopher now, but I could be wrong.
I thought I read that too, but I don't know.
In Kentucky, there's a Christopher, Kentucky. I could be wrong, but as of
we had to collectively sue.
Yeah, we've been.
We're also known as the birthplace of Wren Lake, which is interesting.
Yes.
Now, Wren Lake is for viewers or list viewers. listeners outside of our area, what was the show they recently filmed here?
They filmed. It was called
Return to Crappy Lake.
Crappy Lake,
something like that.
A couple of sisters from a show of
Housewives or something like that.
The Housewives show. And anyway, the two sisters bonded together in this show in Benton and Return. I think they called it Return to or something like that. But I actually watched it. It was all right.
Was it all right? I just kind of
all right. Yeah. Paula Abdul showed up in Benton. Believe it or not.
That was strange.
Yeah. So she made it to the end, and then they still, and then of course they're trying to make money off of her the hotel they redone.
Well, they really did some good things. I think that hotel it needed it. I had some friends stay there when they were moving. They actually got out of their house and had to stay at the hotel for a while before they actually moved, and it was pretty much a dive. It was really nasty. So they did some good, but I just wish they would have just said Rent Lake instead of Crappy Lake. I guess it was funnier to say Crappy Lake, which is actually crappy or crappie, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know why they didn't use the real lake name. I guess it wasn't entertaining enough. But and then we had Poor White Trash filmed here. God, when was that? About 25 years ago or so. Did I lose you? Hello?
Can you hear
there?
me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I lost you for a minute.
Yeah. No, it might be my phone has maybe a timer, and so I
gotcha.
I
can edit that out.
Okay.
No big deal.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, so I'll pay attention now.
I have the technology.
Well, we were talking about. You were saying.
Leave it in just for heck of it.
Bloopers. What's wrong with bloopers? We were talking about
Poor White Trash.
Poor White Trash. I think it came out around 91, 92.
Not was it that long ago? Maybe, I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Now they it might have been a little later, maybe 93.
Something like that. Because I remember they filmed all over Franklin County, Denton, West Frankfort, and they filmed it what was then the old Mr. Snacks building, which is now it's a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
But some friends of mine owned that, and they actually appear in the movie. The grandchildren did. Briefly with the guy that actually owned the building, Mr. Wood, and they're very briefly in the scene. But when they filmed there, I actually was on vacation. I went to Missouri, and I remember very distinctly that John F. Kennedy Jr.'s plane went down the same time I was in.
Wow.
And that's why that whole memory is there. But if you watch the film, you can see the corner of where I work, which shall remain nameless, because they filmed at night, and they filmed in the basement of that establishment. And I was trying to remember who was in that. It was if I'm not mistaken,
Sean Young. William Devane was in it.
Yep.
You said Sean Young. That I think his name is London. He was in the movie Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
You know, he played the quarterback. He played the quarterback in that movie. I'm trying to think.
The one girl had been in the Halloween movie. She played.
Jamie Kennedy. Was it Jamie Kennedy? Something like that.
Oh, I can't. Maybe yes. I think. I can't remember.
Yeah. I know. Me too. I'm having.
See, I used to be Johnny on the spot with these facts.
Okay.
I'm getting older and I'm forgetting stuff, and that's kind of irritating me.
You told me 80s trivia. I'll nail it. But,
I used to get these random phone calls from my parents while I was working saying, who was that guy in that movie that starred that lady from that year? And I would always figure out what they were talking about. Because I've got a brain full of...
She was in that show, she was in that show, something about, what was it, Earl? The Earl show?
Yes. Oh, man. She's real pretty. Blonde-headed.
Is it Jamie? Ain't it? Ain't it
Jamie Kennedy? I think maybe. Ah!
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's also a comedian with that name too. I think they both share.
Kim Kazurinsky also was in that from Saturday Night Live, which she might be a forgotten cast member from not the strongest years of Saturday Night Live, but he's actually a funny guy. He was at the courthouse in Franklin County, the old courthouse. Now they've torn it down. So
right, yeah. And they filmed at the mall over West Frankfort.
Oh yeah, the outlet mall. Yeah.
Right.
Which I don't. Is that even open anymore? I
kind of barely. Yeah.
They got like one store.
Yeah. They filmed at the old. Oh yeah. They filmed at the old bowling alley. It's redone, I think.
Oh yeah.
They filmed there. And then they filmed at that bar over there in Oregon that's not there anymore.
Oh, that's right. Did the bowling alley burn down that they filmed?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they rebuilt it.
Right.
And that was the Heron one, wasn't it? Or close to Heron, the Energy.
No, that was in DuQuoin.
Oh, was it DuQuoin? Okay.
Yeah, right when you
corrected.
Right when you turn off of 14 to the right.
Ah, gotcha.
That over there, yeah.
So we've got this little town and all these little claims to fame, connections to Hollywood. I just think that is so crazy. But we grew up too. I mean, we grew up in time without the internet.
Yes.
The late 70s, early 80s, but we had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. You didn't need to be
connected to the world.
You didn't want to be indoors, yeah. You wanted to be outside.
Well, I used to be. I've always been kind of a loner kid. It's funny how I entertain myself. This is how I'm entertaining myself now with my podcast. My mom felt so sorry for me. I was kind of in an odd place in my neighborhood. I was older than some of the kids and way younger than other kids. A lot of times, if I didn't play with Craig or somebody to come over, I would be by myself. So I'd have to come up with ways to entertain myself by myself, which sounds weird, but I'd get a tape recorder and I'd make scary stories and all that kind of stuff. So kind of funny. Here I am all these years later doing podcasts, which is kind of the same thing, only it's going out to the world.
I think we all did that because I had friends that come over and we had the old. Oh, that's right. And we had the old cassette tape, and we would, you'd make up stories on there and record it, and then save it, whatever it was, and just funny stuff on there.
Oh gosh, I wish my nephews found a box of my tapes and me playing radio, and I might have told this story with Craig, but it's when I lived on Monkey Street. Leonard's View from Monkey Street was my website then. Yeah, I had a website. I was walking home and I could hear my voice, my teenage prepubescent voice, as loud and clear to a block down, and I'm horrified. Like, what are they doing? I ran in there and they were dying laughing. They were like, 8, 9, 10. I was like, first of all, I didn't like them getting in my stuff.
Right. You're embarrassed a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Now I think that's funny. And I've gotten them back anyway. And it's like, it's kind of sad. All my little nephews are in their 40s now. And a couple of them are dads. That's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I think though, we grew up like the greatest music, the greatest movies. Everything was just awesome back then.
Well, and besides, there was always lots to do. And Uptown back then, Uptown was still booming in the 80s. You had your Ben Franklin store. You had your excuse me. You're right. You had your I think they called it P and
Hirsch.
Okay. They had you could buy your 45s and 33s there. Still.
Yeah, you could get albums and everything else there. So
you got your shoes. You got your.
Didn't have a Walmart really till 79. I think was when Walmart came.
Yeah.
And Kirk's would have their great dollar grab bag sales. You buy a dollar grab bag and get all kinds of stuff in it.
And our parents Well, back then, Sears was a choice, or J.C. Penney's, and you're wearing Toughskins. You remember those? Toughskins and Geronimo's for your shirt.
I remember my mom ordering from Sears, and we'd have to go to West Frankfort to pick up the orders. And I think I told this story before too, but I'd go in there and watch color television because my dad didn't believe in color televisions. He said it caused radiation. So-and-so died from radiation from color televisions because he used to be a technician, and he'd yell at us for getting too close to the TV because he didn't want us to glow in the dark or whatever.
Yeah.
But you gotta love it. I was just stuff I just kind of laugh. My dad was a smart man, but it just these little wives' tales that he was afraid of. Right. Like, did your mom make you wait an hour after eating before you went to your little kiddie pool?
That was one of those. Yeah, that was one of those little sayings. I think she lowered it down to 30 minutes, but but it seemed like an hour. Yeah, it seemed like
an adult. I thought about that. I said, Mom, what were we going to do? Drown in like 10 inches of water? I don't think so.
I get the timer going off, ready to. Okay, you go in, son.
Oh my God, Mommy, Jimmy's drowning in the wading pool.
Yes.
Tell him to get out of the pool. Dang it!
Even though they're going to stare at you the whole time you're in that pool.
Oh my God! And we used to have like 12 kids in the little tiny pool.
Yeah, and then all eyes are on you.
Yeah.
They're gonna make sure you don't do anything stupid. Because all it takes is 1 second. We had a pool, and we bought a I don't know, it was like maybe a 20-foot. Back then, we thought it was huge.
Oh yeah, that would have been huge.
But we had like something like that. It was in 1980, I want to say 82, and 82, 83, and you would have thought the whole neighborhood flipped for that pool. It was the best thing in town,
Oh gosh.
You'd have everybody wanting to come over and just to swim in it and all that stuff. But
I had a slip and slide. That was. Did you have one of those?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Any product from Wham-O was just the greatest thing in the world, and they were always. I think they were all banned by eventually for being dangerous. But
you remember jarts, don't you?
Yes. Oh my God.
You threw them in the air, and then people just scrambled to see if it hit you in the head or not, and it would kill you. Right.
I remember riding my bike and jumping on ramps and flipping my bike over and landing in a ditch and just get up and do it all over again.
Yeah, my mom would just put a Band-Aid on you and get back out there.
My dad put that, I think it was called methylate, this orange crap they put on your cuts that burned up high heaven.
Oh, yeah, Bactine? Was it Bactine or something like that?
I don't know. It was an orange liquid.
Yeah,
it was like iodine, but it wasn't. It was methylate or methylate. But oh my God, it was worse than the cut.
It stings so bad. Yeah.
God, and sunburns. Oh my God,
right.
I don't think we had sunscreen when we were kids.
No, that was. I don't think that was even invented. Copper was out, but it didn't work.
I tried in the sun. I'm fair skinned, redheaded. I get out in that sun. I get these blistery sunburns, and they just hurt. And then we didn't have air conditioning, like central air. This would be in the 70s. My dad bought a window unit for his bedroom because he worked in an office at this place called Carmet's. And we would all end up camping out in their bedroom. And I'd have this horrible sunburn and totally being uncomfortable, but it felt good in the cold air. But sweating with the sunburn, talk about painful.
Yeah. We didn't turn the air conditioner on. We had central unit, but Mom she'll probably kill me if she hears this after she hears it. But unless that thing read 92, the air ain't coming on. I mean, you had to deal with it. You know what I mean? She didn't want to. I guess it was a way to try to save money or something. You know how it was.
Oh gosh, my dad. Yeah, I remember he finally sprung for an air conditioner for the kids' room. We were 3 of us in a bedroom. My 2 older sisters and me. My other sister had gotten married, moved out. But I remember him buying this General Electric air conditioner, and back then, I had lived in an old house that my dad remodeled, and he had to build a bathroom on. So you had to walk through the bedroom to get to the bathroom, our bedroom. So we didn't have doors because, God, it sounds like I grew up in the ancient times, but we had a Stokermatic stove when I was really young, before we got an actual furnace. So it heated the whole house, so you couldn't have doors. So we didn't have doors, so they always had to traipse through the bedroom to go to the bathroom, and we'd have the air on, and we'd put a cover over the door to keep the air contained, and he'd come in there in the middle of the night and shut the air off.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to save money.
Yeah.
And I would wake up just soaked. I was like, oh, I hated that.
Yeah. Or we would hang up blankets or whatever it was, in the hallway. So we'd cut off areas, and you're like, all right, let's get cool in this area.
Yes. The good old days.
All right. And then you remember, of course, the heater. Remember those long electric heaters that would make the worst noise?
Oh, God, yes. And they were probably dangerous. They probably just wonder we didn't die.
No, exactly. It was a carbon hazard. And
I laugh because I think they label us Generation X now.
Yes.
And which I'm surprised that we accept that, because we don't like labels our age. I don't, but it's just like, okay, that's okay. But
I guess, is it better millennial? Can I say that?
Well, there's a millennial, the millennials, and we're Generation X, and I think we're followed by the millennials, which would be my nephews. And we always made fun of the millennials, but this Generation Z.
Trust me, they made fun of us when we were Gen Xers. So.
Oh gosh, we're the old people now,
Yeah, I think it's like, as we grow older, it's like we did what we did, but now we look at what people are doing now with TikTok.
Geez. I mean, at least we knew what gender we were.
Like,
I
don't know my time, we were doing all that stuff before that was even out. It's like, we wish we had a camcorder, or whatever cameras. We were doing all that stuff when the TikTok was out.
Exactly. And selfies, we would hold the camera up.
Sure.
Of course, you had to wait to get your film developed, but
the Polaroid, the old Polaroid.
Polaroid, you could, I've got a picture of me when I was 17, and I said that was the first selfie I ever took.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing's new. I laughed. I've always said that childhood was universal. Before the internet, because the internet did change things. I think it made the world smaller, but basically, from when my parents grew up in the 1930s to the time we grew up, we rode bikes, we stayed out, we played outside, we made up games, you didn't have all this technology, and we had a blast.
We loved our walkie-talkie.
Oh gosh, yeah, walkie-talkies were amazing.
What was the code for? I don't remember. Did you ever follow that code? Did you ever make sense of that code? No.
Oh, the SOS, whatever.
Yeah. You would. Yeah.
I kind of figured it out. Dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. It was was SOS.
But not one kid followed that.
No. Well, my dad was in World War II, so he kind of explained it to me. Because they used that a lot. And, but your general, no, it was just too complicated.
Not one kid followed it. I don't, so.
You remember CDs, when the CDs were like a big thing? And,
Dad had the Cobra name. I think you remember the name Cobra. The bass radios with a big old huge microphone. And then you could hear the truckers coming through the area, and my dad would interact with them and stuff. And
I used to, sometimes with my walkie-talkie I could pick up.
Yes, you could pick up a trucker once in a while.
I'd hear, Baker 19, Baker 19, you got a cup, you got your ears on,
Right, and you had to make sure you had to get off that channel 9 or something. He said, no, they said, get off that channel 9.
Yeah, they would yell at you, it's like, get off there. Right. What was the movie? It was made in the 90s about the guys that got on the CB and they were pretending to be girls. And
oh, boy.
What was the name of that movie?
That makes this because in my head here.
Remember, the guy ended up being a psycho and he was chasing them? They were going by Candy Cane.
Oh, my.
Jesus.
Wow. Yeah.
That was actually kind of a good movie too.
Ah.
Oh shoot! My cats are fighting.
That one sounded violent there.
Livy and Kira, they are like sisters. They're not really sisters, but they're just alike. Kira idolizes Livy, but Livy picks on her, and they both got kind of in trouble this morning for fighting on top of me.
Right.
Now, they're okay. They're okay.
I have one cat, and his name's Izzy. And
Izzy.
He looks like the 9 Lives cat, on the cat food.
Oh yeah.
He looks just like him, except he's a big boy, So, and then I have I don't know if you know or not. I have 2 Jack Russell dogs.
I didn't know that.
They're 9 years old. One's pure brown, a little bit of gray now because she's old, and then the other one's brown and white, like kind of looks like the dog from the Mask movie.
Okay.
That's what they look like. Those kind of dogs. Those are kind of the dogs I have. So,
I really, I can't say I'm a dog person or a cat person, but we've always had both. And I've mentioned before that I had a duck as well when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was quite famous in the area, and but as an adult, I just didn't want any more animals because it just breaks my heart when they pass. Sure. And after my dad died, this little black and white kitty, who one of the neighbors who moved left behind, and my sister just talked about this little cat all the time, how she's sit in a tree. She was just a little survival kitty, she'd call her. And anyway, I started walking for exercise, and this little black and white cat started warming up to me. And I really didn't feed her anything, but she, for some reason, she just took to me, and she brought me a dead squirrel.
oh my!
They say when they bring you stuff, they're claiming you as theirs. And I went and buried the squirrel. I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. And at first I called her Psycho Kitty because she just would sit there and stare at me, which I learned later that cats do that when they love you. Yes. And she eventually, when it got cold, wormed her way into the house. And the first time she did it, she jumped on my mom's couch where Mom was sleeping because she wouldn't go back in the room after Dad passed. And I'm like, well, sorry, Kitty, you're going to have to go outside. And I just felt like a jerk. I put her back outside, and I couldn't. I thought, why did I do that? Well, the next night she came back in, and I let her stay in. And anyway, I eventually called her Psycho because she would just sit there and stare at me and stare at me and stare at me. And it turned out that I called her Girlfriend because it kind of evolved from Psycho to Psycho Girlfriend. And then I just thought, Girlfriend's kind of cute. I'll leave it at that. But she started my whole cat phase, and she had kittens, several litters, and finally had a litter in my house. That's where 2 of my cats came from, Sunny and Livy. But now I have 7 cats, including Girlfriend. I had another stray, Nacho, wander up, and she had kittens. I just can't stand giving cats away.
Yeah,
I gave 2 out of that litter away too, and I can't. I got attached to it. Once you name cats, they're yours.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I named all my cats pretty much after some version of Olivia Newton-John, other than my Girlfriend cat. And Isaac is named after Chris Isaac, the singer. But yeah.
That is funny. Those I almost had 2 cats, but and I'll be honest. I'll tell you what. Growing up, I was allergic to cats. Like it would just make my skin all itchy, rashy. Growing up, I had to have shots every week. It seemed like I had to have shots on my arm or something, and I was allergic to every known product. And it just
that's horrible.
And then it just and then it was like I think when I turned about 15, it kind of just went away, most of it. Like we're talking probably.
I didn't develop allergies till I was 18, and grass I can't. Like people mow their lawn and I start sneezing.
Yeah, I get that stuff.
Now I have all kinds of allergies, which sucks, but not cats. Oddly enough.
But I did. Yeah, I used to be. I couldn't have them around me or anything like that. Or but now. Yeah, now I'm fine, but I used to. Who knows?
My dad oh, he didn't like us having animals in the house at all. Though you just weren't allowed to have animals in the house. We had dogs, but they were outside dogs. I had a beagle named Barney, and when I think my sister left her dog. She was a Cocker Spaniel, and she was really old when I was little, and they ended up having to have her put to sleep because she was blind and just really sickly. But we always had outside animals, outside cats. Obviously, the duck. Actually, when the duck was a duckling, we kept him in the house. My sisters had a little house for him, and he, for his first part of his life, because we got him Easter time, so it was still cold out. Then my dad, we had a fenced-in backyard, and he put him out, made him a little duck house, and he lived out there for, 12 years, something like that, and died on Christmas Day, 1983, froze to death. It was a really cold, snowy Christmas. Ruined our Christmas that year. So, but my dad, he just was really, he would roll over in his grave if he saw me having all these cats in the house. But he would love them. He loved animals. He wasn't mean to animals or anything, but I could just see him. My Sonny boy would be his favorite. I swear Sonny is him reincarnated. I've said that before. But what cat likes French fries?
Wow.
Sonny does.
Right.
It's like my dad.
Yeah. We grew up with, the brand Chow Chow dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple of those. We had a black one, and we couldn't handle it. It was just too mean. It had a black tongue, and it was just. My dad hit it with a baseball bat one time, and knocked it down the basement, and that dog come charging back up. Like, is that all you got? and he had to get rid of it. So, like a year later, we got a female version, like a brown cinnamon type. Now, beautiful dog. They're beautiful dogs. They're loyal mostly. I mean, it was just a freak thing with the male one, but the female one was perfect. Guarded you, let you pet it. It just depends what you got in a dog.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You had a sister. You guys have a sister.
Renee.
Renee. You still have her. I still have mine too. But it's weird. I don't know if she. How much older than you is she? She's not a lot older.
I'm.
Or she's younger.
Yeah, she's younger. 4 years younger.
That's right.
She's. I won't say that magic number. You know that magic number that you hit?
Yes.
I
remember her hitting that. That's so much fun when it's your sisters.
Oh, I know.
Hell.
Right. But anyway.
But still, you're older, because that kind of sucks, because she can kind of say, well, it doesn't matter how old I am, you're still older. Because I pull that on my sisters. I'm like, I don't care how old you make fun of me, you're all older than me. And just the fact that your baby brother is a certain age, makes you guys even that much older.
Yeah. I feel she takes more care of me than I do of her.
Really? Sure. She's a good girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Your sister's a sweetheart.
Yeah. So, and like, ever since I had, I had a wreck back in 2013. Lawn truck. So ever since then, it's she's always been there for me. But we were. I think that's when we started being really close. And
funny how that happens in your adult life. Same with me. Actually, I've always been close to my sisters. And it was funny growing up with girls, especially older girls, because I started to say, you were talking about the dogs. My neighbors had poodles, Pierre, and then down the street, Keith Medley. You know Keith, I think. That's actually Craig's cousin. They had Joe, and he was a white poodle, and Pierre was a gray poodle. And my sisters teased those dogs so bad that they were almost vicious. And they would all get those dogs riled up and then end up on their little play table in the little playhouse, screaming and laughing while these dogs are trying to attack them. Little poodles, and eventually one of the girls would pee in their pants. It was just growing up with girls like that. Just they were very creative.
Oh yeah,
they'd have seances and all kinds of hilarious stuff. I tell you,
I was mean. I was a mean brother. I think I'm getting karma nowadays.
It happens. It happens.
I would tell her, get away from me or this and that. It just leave me alone. All that stuff.
Did she stay away from you, or did she pester you?
No, it was a little
you
bit.
You pestered her.
Oh God, I was bad. I was awful.
I was the typical little brother.
I'm surprised my mom didn't go in a psych ward. It was
God.
And Dad, yeah. I mean, you know how it is when you get threatened. Well, the old days.
Yeah.
Mom would have the Hot Wheel tracks. You remember those Hot Wheel tracks?
Yes.
That you'd use your cars on from the what do you call those?
Yes, the little plastic flip flop things. Yeah.
And you put the things together. Well, she would fold it in half and ready to whoop you with it.
My mom and dad always got sticks out of the tree.
Yeah, they'll tell you to go pick it.
Or the fly swatter. That was the worst.
Yeah.
And you'd be running in circles while they were whipping you, and they're turning around and you're running.
Yeah.
My mom actually was more of the punisher in the family. If my dad was mad, it was bad. You made him mad because he knocked me over a chair one time when I was little. He just whopped me when he had enough of my smart mouth.
Yeah.
And he'd always say, I'm just like my mom.
Well, then about dads. I mean, did you ever get beat for bad grades?
No, actually, I made good grades, and that's one thing.
He'll deny it because he's still around. Dad is. I won't say his name.
Beat you.
You would walk the slowest walk from school, and he got off at 5 p.m. and you got out of school at what, 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
You still walked home 2 hours slow. Because oh no, it's coming.
That dread.
Oh, and you walked with your report card. Back then. I mean, now it's all electronic, I'm sure.
My mom worked in grade school because I
remember.
I couldn't get by with nothing. She was always there, and my cousins were teachers. My Brenda Flowers is my cousin.
Yeah,
and so I couldn't get by with anything in grade school. Yeah. My mom saw who I played with and who I flirted with, and,
Yes.
I would be the topic of discussion when I had all the girls around me in the playground.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's got all them girls around him.
Oh, yeah. Your mom worked the cafeteria, right? Correct?
Yeah. She was the lunch lady, as Andy Trigolo says.
Yes. We love Pizza Day.
God. Wasn't that the greatest?
Yeah.
I like Mary Ann Huey's hot rolls, the hot bread. You remember that?
A little bit.
It was so good. You put butter on them.
Oh, wow.
I didn't like their spaghetti. It was, made out of state stuff, but her hot bread she made from scratch.
Yeah, we like Taco Day too. I forgot about that.
Taco Day. I hated the tuna salad on the lettuce leaf. Did you?
Yeah. They gave you a pack of crackers. Yeah,
I remember pack of crackers. That was disgusting.
Remember the pork and beans and the hot dogs together?
I gave my lunch away to Angie Basolo, now Bond, and Carl Benson, and you remember Otis?
Oh yes,
Jimmy Hall. Yeah. He'd say, "I'm a growing boy and I need it."
Oh yeah, God bless.
Because if I went up there with the full plate and my mom saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I was in trouble, so I always would give my lunch away. Look, I ate it all.
Right.
The lies we tell our parents.
That's true. We had a carton of milk. We had a carton of milk, or then you had there was no soda choices at all then.
No, you didn't have soda at school. No.
I'm grateful. No.
You had your choice of chocolate milk or white milk, and when I started there, you could only have chocolate milk on Fridays.
Yeah.
And then later they did chocolate milk through the whole all week, which I was thankful for because I lived on chocolate milk. I did that in high school too. I ate sour cream and onion potato chips, and chocolate milk was my main diet in high school.
Well, you remember? Well, I'm gonna rest her soul now. She was it
Lima, yeah.
She did not like us when we first started there freshman year.
Uh-huh.
Me and me and my buddies Curtis and I'm just saying first name, Curtis and maybe Mark and Eric or something. But we would go there in the morning at 6 a.m. because I lived right there, like Greg's house across the street from high school. We would go play basketball at the gym, and because we were scared about high school, freshman year.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, they're rightfully so because gosh, you got picked on when you were a freshman.
They, back then they did initiations and all this stuff.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going to happen. But Wyma, she did not like us at first. Like she was like, "Why are you here?" This and that. And then she loved us. Like, like by the senior year, she was just, I always, because she always had her. She'd make the burgers and stuff, and then she'd always have like the Hostess Twinkies and wherever was on that shelf.
Lay's potato chips, yeah.
Everything was loaded there and ready to, So anyway,
that is so different now. I think.
Yeah,
when we were kids, some of the I think the what's her name, Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, ruined lunch for everybody for a while with her crazy program. Not getting political, but I'm sorry that sucked for everybody. It was ugh. Yeah, my mom actually. It's funny. My mom. They try to keep it as homemade as possible. They made a lot of stuff from scratch with state supplied flour and all that stuff. So the pizzas were frozen. And, they got a lot of stuff that was frozen. But she worked at Monkeytown a couple of times, and they made their own food. I mean, they actually made home cooked meals, but there was only like 12 people in a class back then.
Yeah,
when Monkeytown was open before they went to Christopher High School.
Yeah,
but I think my mom. There's only one lady left from her. Well, Kathy Young's still alive, but
hey, there's not nobody really. I mean, I know we know a few people that are there now, but we're talking about
our teachers are all retired. Every one of them. There's not any left.
I don't think there's not a single one around.
And it's funny that a lot of the teachers I've watched grow up, at the store. And it's funny. It's weird being in my store so long because I've watched like grade school kids all the way to grandparenthood.
Grow up, yeah.
Yeah, it just kills me. I had one guy that became a grandpa, and I said, "Gosh, you were in the 8th grade when I started here."
Yeah.
It's insane.
Uh-huh.
But like life in a small town, we know everybody and everybody knows us. And it's just our way of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I think there was a time I'd really like to have moved to the city. But it's funny how some of my dreams, I wanted to be a TV broadcaster, for instance, and I made friends with some TV broadcasters, and they had a really crappy time and got treated terribly and left the business because it was so rotten and a lot of political nonsense and dealing with cold-hearted station owners and things. And I'm glad I didn't get into that because I probably would have ended up doing something else anyway. But it's like the same with city life. I've had friends that lived there that just didn't like it. And I still like to visit, but I don't think I want to live in a city. It's exciting to go to a city, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah, I left in 1994. I was working for back then it was GTE Home Company, and I was working in operator services in Marion, and they shut down in '95, and they offered us like $5 or $6 grand to transfer to Wentzville, Missouri. And I took that opportunity. I said, I'm gonna get out of here. And I did that for about 5 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I worked for the phone company for 5 years, and I was making really good money then. I got married once there, like a dummy.
Really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I've been married 3 times.
I didn't know that. Well, I knew you married Laura.
Yeah, I married Laura. That was the last one. But the first one I married, it should have been annulled, I guess you could say.
Right.
I got married in 90, I want to say 97, 98. It wasn't that long, 11 months. So I served her, and then that's probably why it didn't go through the way I would like to have, and I paid for it,
My dad was married for that long and then separated for 9 more years to Connie's mom. And when he met my mom, he finally got divorced. I don't know why he didn't get divorced before that. But when you said that reminded me of that.
And then I married a girl from Mount Vernon area. I think she's still there. And we made about a year and a half. My track record with marriages, I was like, I think it's. I date him longer than I marry him.
You came, you saw, you went.
Oh yeah, but no, I don't regret any of that. It's life, it's living.
I have never, ever, 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 ever wanted to be married. Never considered it. Never wanted it. Never needed it. And people gossip about me and all that stuff. That's fine. I don't care. I used to drive me crazy when I was younger, but now I just don't give a crap. No. My goal in life is to find a nice beach somewhere with a nice beach house. Not a beach house. I don't want to live on a beach. I want to live somewhere with weather. I don't like warm climates. But
yeah.
It's funny how your goals in life when you get older are a little different than.
Well, I mean, you're probably one of the few. I mean, I'm one of 2 people, I believe, in my class that does not have kids.
Oh, I'm probably the only person in my class.
I'm not going to say that girl's name. I'll just call her Jennifer. I'm not saying her last name. She will know. But I think she knows she's that way because she doesn't have any.
Yeah.
But there you go. But me and her both, I think we chuckled about that a couple of times. Like, I said, you and me do not have any kids. And it's the way it went. And it wasn't like I didn't want any. It was like, there were a couple of chances that could have happened. And it was just like,
Well, it's really sad in my case because you're the only boy too. In your family. I can't carry on the family name, but hell, my other family members that carried on. My cousin Scott's carried it on.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Scott, for doing that for me.
Yeah, right.
He's like my older brother anyway. It's funny, my cousin Scott, he is so much like my older brother. He's so much like my dad, like personality-wise, that cracks me up. He came in, he comes to my house and starts yelling at me about things,
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, it's like having my dad. He yells about my cats. My dad used to tell me I need to reduce. He used to get aggravated about my weight.
Yeah.
And he would really be aggravated at me right now, but
yeah.
I don't know. Who would have thought I'd been so heavy this part of my life when I was so skinny when I was younger? I don't know. You were always kind of an athlete, though.
I wasn't in high school. I ran track 4 years. But,
yeah. You and Eric, my nephew, was a great athlete too.
Yeah. And I didn't. Yeah, and I started gaining weight later in the.
beer's good.
Well, I tell you what, the super bars, what they call them. I worked at Wendy's. When I got out of high school, I worked at Wendy's for 3 years.
Right.
And back then they had the super bar, where they had the lettuce, the taco bar.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Well, when you could eat there for basically free, what are you going to do? You just got connections,
That was, my thing was working, I think that's when I started working second shifts, and I'd come home and get those Geno's pizzas, and throw one in the oven and eat it and stay up late and watch movies.
Yeah.
And I still remember my mom going, "You're getting love handles." I was like, oh, wow, I'm getting fat. That was the first time in my whole life. And then I just never stopped. I've had a weight problem ever since.
Yeah.
Of course, I've reduced and I've put it back on I don't know how many times. I'm hoping to get back since Mom's passed. I'm hoping to get back to my walking and stuff.
I was gonna say you were really doing some walking.
Oh, I was was very determined.
You were walking the town. I mean,
I did 12 miles sometimes and loved it. I was just loving it. Out in the heat.
Wow.
And that was something, me being heavy, I cannot stand this. I don't like summer at all when it's hot, when I'm fat.
Yeah.
It's miserable.
I like fall. Fall is my favorite time of year.
I love fall, and I like, actually, I used to love winter, but I really don't anymore because it's such a pain in the butt to
it's been mild though.
And stuff.
Mild,
but we don't have winters here anymore, I swear.
It's been kind of mild, so I really can't complain on that part. But
fall's just the best time of year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I was a kid, it was absolutely summer, you know, because you played.
Oh yeah,
I played
summer when you were a kid.
Summer ball, baseball. It was what we called it. What was that called? CAYA ball, whatever.
CAYA, yeah.
Remember you had to. Did you play it all, or you just?
No, I was a notorious non-athlete. I was such a geek.
Oh, we had to. We had to sell candy bars like a nut roll. Remember all those candy? You'd have to sell the candy door to door.
Oh, I hated doing that stuff.
How horrible was that? And then you had to get, you know, as a kid, you know, half of them shut the door in your face. Like, F you too. Here's your candy. You know,
I didn't do the CAY games when we would raise money for class trips, like in the third grade or whatever, to go to the zoo. And we had those turtles and the kids. And I was too shy to go door to door, and I'd have people coming to my house, buying at my door. They would come to me. Yeah. I was like, that's how backward I was back then. Backward is what I was. Yeah, my teachers littered as backward.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you had Miss Mac, right?
I had all. Yeah, I had Carla. I had all of them.
Yeah,
I think we pretty much had the same teachers.
Yeah, I was gonna say she had that super candy store. Remember that? She had all.
Yes.
She had the jars of the different. They're like sticks or something. Okay.
Well, do you remember whenever? I won't say his name because he's actually a good guy.
First name, you don't have to say that.
Well, he burned the classroom down.
Oh yeah, remember
that? He set that tin on fire.
Yeah, I say that.
Which I don't know why he did. I don't know what got into him because he's a very nice man now and well adjusted and an artist and everything. But I don't know what kind of mental issues he was going through then. Yeah. But it kind of shocked me because he was one of those quiet kids that you wouldn't think would do that. But so if he's listening, I'm not making fun of you. We all have our issues. Yeah. But that was just, I still remember that it was all melted and
yeah.
I remember a couple of people that got to see what it looked like. It just was like a big glob of candy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I just remember standing outside and someone saying, "Burn, baby, burn." We just wanted the day off next day.
Really? Yeah.
I remember when Ronald Reagan got shot when I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my classmates going, "If the old fart dies, do we get the day off?" That's all you thought about was, snow days and getting out of school.
Right.
Back then.
Yes.
Kids are awful. We're awful when we're kids. Just general rule.
Well, they thought that as a Challenger. If you remember I was homesick.
Oh gosh, I was actually out of school when that happened.
I was sick. I remember I was in the living room sick, and I just remember not understanding what happened in the air. You know what I mean? It was kind of like
it was weird. It was just I was babysitting my nephews. I was pretty much I wasn't a living babysitter, but I would go spend my evenings there till like midnight because I wasn't in college, so them and got paid. But I slept all day and I got up and I see this news clip of the Challenger exploding, and I was like, "What the heck did I miss here?" Mm-hmm. And then I was glued to the TV when I went to my sister's house, and my nephew was like 3 or 4 at that time, and I remember him going, "That's awful." He was sitting in my lap and we were watching it.
I want to say that was 1986.
86, yeah. I think 85.
Yeah. I think I was a freshman in high school. Like sophomore, freshman, sophomore.
Yeah, I graduated 85, so you were a sophomore or a junior.
Something like that.
That was the year after I got out of high school.
Okay. So, but
all that time runs together anymore.
Yeah.
I've always been good about remembering. I said that before. Now I'm starting to see. I'm repeating myself. So.
Have you been in that high school since graduating?
I've been to a couple of graduations, and it's so different. It makes you sick. It looks good, but it's just so different.
I've been to the gym maybe twice over the last 30 years.
The gym seems the same. That's the one thing.
I know they repainted this and that with the flooring, and then I've not been down the halls.
I haven't either. I think I've been to the office area.
I went to the office one time, I think, for something. I had to do something.
Yeah, me too, but it's been a while back. But I haven't been in the classrooms or anything in forever. I don't think that grade school is just totally different. It doesn't even look the same.
Yes, I went in there when I was 2013, because I was selling product from Swans briefly over to the grade school, and in the summertime, because the ladies were working, whatever, and I went through the school just to kind of breeze through there. Didn't recognize nothing hardly at all. It was just I wouldn't have known my way through there unless I needed an escort. It was that different,
Time just keeps on flowing.
Yeah, well, that's true. But
hard to believe. I think I've been out of grade school for 40-some years. In high school, we'll have our 40th reunion next year, which I hope to attend. I have no reason not to now. But
we didn't do our 35 year last year. I helped organize the 30, and then I'm like, I'm not doing this again if nobody wants to put effort.
No, that's irritating. We had a good turnout for our 30th back in 2015. I actually went to that one, and I've helped with all of them because I keep in contact with everybody. But COVID kind of ruined our 35th.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up having just a get together at the Italian club, and I didn't go to that, but everybody got COVID that went to that reunion. Yeah. I believe that's what happened.
There's no doubt. Yeah, it's like.
But I had Mom. I was taking care of Mom too, so I've kind of missed out on a lot of things with her. Not complaining, but that just it costs too much money to find a sitter for her and all that stuff. So I just kind of sat it. I kind of, I sat out the last few years with taking care of her, but I would, I'm not griping, but that's just the way it was.
I'm telling you, when you try to organize something, then nobody wants to. You gotta drag money out of people and
I know.
And then you feel bad that you're trying to ask them for money because you showed up. But what I find at these class reunions is people really haven't changed that much as far as their basic behaviors. Nope.
I had gone to mine, and someone was kind of acting up a little bit, and I didn't. I was just thrilled to see everybody, and I don't hold anything against people from back in those days because kids are generally awful anyway. We've all had our moments of being awful. And anyway, apparently there's some grudges still held and everything, and I got in the middle of that, didn't know it, and then got in trouble, and I was like, holy cow, I was just having fun. I didn't realize people were mad or, I just was just enjoying the moment. And my best friend, one of my best friends, Terry Overturf, surprised me and came. So we hung out a lot. It was good to see him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was pretty good. I had a few key people that weren't there, and we've lost some people since then, which is a drag.
Yeah.
Del and all those people. And Del didn't go to that one. I wished he would have. It would have been a blast with him there. But I don't know. Good times.
I think we lost about 7.
Yeah, you guys lost a lot of people in your class, and early on too.
Yeah.
We actually, my class, we didn't really lose anybody till a few years ago, and now we've lost quite a few.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's inevitable, but I mean,
I've lost. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I started to say I've lost a lot of my key circle there. That Melissa Wiggs, Andy Rogers, Del Pico, people that I just really dearly love, and it's just hard. It's sad to think when I go to my reunion they won't be there, but I've still I wasn't going to go to my mom's funeral, but a lot of my friends were at mom's funeral, and people I've known all my life, and they're like family, and that's another great thing about growing up in a small town. Your friends are like family.
Sure.
And everything. Well, buddy, this has been a great conversation. I totally enjoyed this.
Me too.
We'll have to do this again sometime.
Sure.
We've already talked almost over an hour, and it just seemed like no time at all.
We didn't even scratch the surface. Yeah, we didn't even scratch the surface on different things.
Yeah, it was a good time. We'll do this again.
Like I said, Leonard, I thoroughly enjoy listening to you.
Thank you.
You make my day when I listen to you, and hell, who knows? Maybe you give me inspiration to start my own.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's sometimes hard to think of something to talk about, and I've had so much bad things happen in my life in the last year that I've not felt like doing a podcast, and plus I've been sick a lot. I take these moments where I don't get sick for a long time, and then I have years where I'm just sick with everything, and this is one of those years. But I love doing podcasts. I totally recommend it. I will totally back you up if you do it. So it gives you a forum to talk about whatever you want.
Yes, that's absolutely right. That's right.
Now, podcasts for Spotify, podcasts is changing their format a little bit. You're not going to be able to do this like we're doing right now. Right. I think I have to go to Riverside FM, and I've got to figure that out. So this is going to be my season finale here, and I'm going to take a little bit of time off to learn their new system, because hopefully I can figure it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you, Mike, for
thanks, Linda.
Joining me. I am going to go have pizza, I think.
Yeah. So, I appreciate it, and I look forward to listening to this.
I'll have it up as soon as I can edit it, so I'll let you know. You said you're a night owl. We're recording this at 10:30 at night, so that's when me and Craig get it, too. It's kind of funny. Yeah. We're all night owls. I'm a night owl that's been on day shift. It's kind of bad. I was off, with Mom, and I reverted back to my midnight ways, so it's been torture trying to get up early again.
Sure.
But anyway, thank you, Mike, and I appreciate it, and we'll talk again.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Take care. All right.
Bye.
Later.
I'm Leonard Riggs, and this has been my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears, and special thanks to Mike Jackson. That was a fun conversation about growing up in Christopher, Illinois. Life in a small town. Gotta love it. We've had a great childhood here, and it was a joy talking to him. I really, really do appreciate you, Mike. Thank you for joining me. This is my season finale, and I'm going to take a little break for just a little while. Spotify is making some changes, and I'm going to try to figure out how to use their new features. And I think July 1st is when they totally implement it, but I want to learn it before they actually implement it. So I will be taking a little time off. And this is one of my longer episodes, and we had a good time talking. So anyway, thank you for listening. I appreciate y'all. I enjoy my podcasts, and I look forward to having another season of From My Head to Your Ears. And stay tuned. I'll be back with the next season. I think it's, what is it, season 4 already? Crazy. But, oh, my cats are fighting. I better go. They're hungry. I'm Leonard Riggs. This is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears.